Heath, welcome to the Watermark Water Cooler. We're gonna talk about ESG, environmental, social, corporate governance. Heath's our resident expert, but Heath, I would love for you to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, let's see. I've been in the graphic communication, mostly corporate based, for a couple of decades, and a longtime member of the National Investor Relations Institute, and have focused a lot of my career on communications to stakeholders, primarily investors, and love what I do, love taking care of investor relations professionals who need our abilities, and love the end results, and love being in the world of graphic design, even though I'm not a designer.
But I will say, Heath is corporate communications master. She has been doing it for such a long time, and has so much knowledge about corp com and investor relations. I don't even want to know how many annual reports you've probably done in your career, Heath, but it's probably been a lot.
Yes.
Yes, it's
I'll
been a
just
lot.
say yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
we introduce ESG, obviously what it is, but can you go a little bit deeper for us? What is it? What is this all about, and why is this the top of people's minds right now?
Well, I think that what's happening is that there's sort of a flourishing breed of stakeholders. And again, those are not only investors, but customers, community members, and the like, that are looking for a greater sense of transparency on the part of organizations who impact our environment, our social being, and hopefully they follow the rules through governance. So plus
Mhm.
ESG, um, the ESG reporting has basically been generated by several sources, but the crux of it is that people are asking for organizations to take responsibility and show transparency for their actions, aside from just financial reporting when you think of stock.
Yeah, and why it's also such a interesting transition that we've kind of had in your career, I'm sure too, is like that investor relations piece, and it has been around forever. And how we report that information has always been key to stakeholders. But that's always been more on the financial side. And I think we have made a big shift now in how important businesses are to our environment, our social stance on things, maybe more now than ever, really.
It's true in how much it's pervaded our life. As an aside, when my husband and I watch the news at night, I take every topic and I say, that's an E topic, that's an
Mm-hmm.
S topic, that's a G topic.
Mm-hmm.
And it all seems to fall within those categories now.
Yeah.
So again, ESG reporting is not only something that investors, I mean, it's just a part of everyday life in how how we become informed. Aside from financials, I mean, even in ESG, people want to know you're investing financially in environmental, social, and governance issues to make a difference. So, there are just so many things involved in environmental. It's about sustainability, about recycling, about climate change. In the social aspect, it's about human rights, about diversity, um, consumer and employee protection, health and welfare, even animal welfare. And then the governance, you want to make sure that people are representing ethical practices and keeping an eye on things, making sure that things are running properly,
Mm-hmm.
that they aren't running away with the with the value of the company that they're reinvesting and getting support for people involved.
All this being said, do you think there's going to be a time where pretty much every business, particularly publicly traded business, is going to almost have to do an ESG report?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, it was one of the first to initiate a letter to all CEOs of companies that they've invested in, and they're the largest global institutional investor,
Yeah.
saying that if you don't report ESG, we will not really support
Divest. Yeah,
we
they're going to divest.
divest
Yeah.
in you. So it's really forcing the responsibility aspect upon the companies if you want to have a good financial investment support behind
Yeah.
you. So,
Yeah. What kind
you
of
know,
information is in an ESG report? I mean, we talked about some of them, but how does that look for somebody who's wanting to do this?
well, I think that there are two ways of going about it. There is one that if you're just starting, you don't necessarily have to um, follow all of the standards and metrics. We'll talk about GRI,
Mm,
but you can actually just say, here's where we are. Here are our intents. You may not have the number of hours that you utilize energy and electricity. You may not
mhm.
have the amount of greenhouse gases that, that you're responsible for creating. But at least you have to start and saying, you know what, we're going to do this and we're going to take responsibility and we're going to set some goals to achieve, and we'll let you know along the way,
Mhm.
so that we can be transparent.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a cool point that you make there is that, and we've seen it almost every time we start an ESG report for a company that is just kicking it off. That first year is way lighter than the years prior, but it's a commitment kind of statement that this is something we're going to do, and it's going to be yearly. We're going to show you more and more information about our business. So uh, I think it's a great point is that it doesn't have to be all in the first year.
Exactly. And I'm not going to say that we were the end all to make things better, but we have a client who told me that within a week of their distributing their inaugural ESG report, their ISS, Institutional Shareholder Services score, went up several points because it was easy for the analysts to, find the communication and to do their checklist. Um, and so that's a good thing to, again, those responsible investors to see that people are doing their best to make ethical changes and
Yeah,
improvements.
cool. So you talked a little bit about GRI, but what is the GRI index and what's the importance for that ESG report?
So the Global Reporting Initiative, GRI Index, um, is it basically is a structure of how to report an organization's profile, strategy, ethics, integrity, governance, stakeholder engagement practices. So a lot of this is now being incorporated into the proxy. For example, when you're featuring your board of directors, it's not just that they're in this industry. You show their background, you show how, the sense of diversity that they bring to your board. Anyway, so basically it gives you a guideline on certain things to report so that you can be scored and so that you have a platform for communication.
Yeah, great. So that was the last question I had for you, Heath. As always, we would love to have you come back and maybe we talk about annual reports. But I also would invite our watchers to please subscribe so we can produce better content. Let us know what you think about the content we're producing. Is there something that you would like to see, whether that be about agency life, about how we serve our clients, about a topic in marketing in general, we'd love to see your comments. So comment below, and please subscribe. It helps us to know that you enjoy watching this, and we will see you next time on the water cooler.
Thanks very much. My pleasure to be a part of it.
Bye.